Hello, welcome to Somerset News Network. Interesting. You would think, watching the news, that Trump in America would be leading in the polls. But there was a report in The Independent that Harris is leading by 2.9. Nobody likes her. My American friends absolutely hate her. The blacks don't like her because in California, when she was DA, she was putting them all in jails. The Indians don't like her because she's not admitting to her Indian heritage and saying that she's black. She doesn't go on the press. She's had a couple of interviews that have been car crashes. You know, how can she be in the lead? Now, there was rumours that the last election was rigged, that they tried to falsely donate ballot papers and the computers were rigged so that Biden would win the election over Trump. But all the inquiries said nothing to see here. But Trump was in power, Biden was in power then, and all the judges and people doing the inquiry were his supporters. You know, there's video of people putting the ballot paper in the computer to count, and they're Republican, and it's coming up as Democrats. Now, they tried to change the computer program so they wouldn't do it. And there was a report by a computer expert who said there is not enough time to reprogram all the machines before the election. So those machines are still going to count the wrong ballots. So is the election going to be rigged again? I don't know, I'm only posing the question. There was one guy said that he was taking boxes of ballot papers to the count that were bogus. They say, but dead people were voting. They were doing it on the postal ballot. Well, are they doing it here? We know about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, there was two guys up in Birmingham or Manchester, up north, I say, and they were convicted and sent to prison for 2 years, the two guys, and they were rigging the election. What they were doing was going round to the elderly people, getting them to apply for a postal vote, and then going back in, because they were linked to the council, you see, then going back to them and visiting and saying, oh, you got your postal vote, don't worry, I'll sort that out, and taking it. And then they'd fill it in, and they were Labour Party workers. Now, if they were doing it then, what's to say they're not doing it now, here and in America? Elections have to be free and fair. We have lost our moral compass. But who's to stand up? You know, who's saying anything? We need to have free and fair elections. It's part of our constitution. Believe it or not, in the Bill of Rights, which I keep going on about, says elections should be free. You know, you can't bribe somebody if you're standing to vote for you. You can't even take a pint of beer off a politician because it might be seen as a bribe. So we know elections have got to be free and fair. Now, what's going to happen this time round? In our last election, when Starmer won, Labour increased their vote by 1.7%, but the way our system works with one first past the post, they won the majority of seats and had a landslide. But what happened was Conservative voters did not come out. I can talk about my own constituency. We had a Labour MP with, I think it was something like 23 or 25,000 majority. Safe seat. Nothing but a direct hit from a Zeppelin raid would ever move you. Election day we had a Zeppelin come over and it dropped one. Our MP has got 9,000 votes missing. The Reform Party only had 5,000 votes. There was 9,000 votes just not there. The Labour Party vote went up by 2,000 votes. So our Conservative candidate lost. Conservatives either changed their vote to Reform or didn't vote at all. And I would say over half of the Conservatives that didn't vote or didn't vote Conservative didn't vote at all. That's bad news for democracy. Now the next election is going to be something totally different. I think the Labour Party is screwed. There was a Labour Party advisor talking about the freebie scandal, and he said, oh, it's only the Tory press that's talking about it and it'll be all right, it doesn't matter. Don't they understand how bad it looks? They were moaning and screaming at the Tory party before the election about Boris and his wallpaper and Boris having a drink in number 10 in his own house at Christmas. Then now we find that the Labour Party has had 1.2 million from this millionaire, and it's been spread about the cabinet. And although it might be written down and they're declaring it, it's how it looked. Boris declared the wallpaper, but Boris didn't benefit personally himself by it. It was number 10, which is the government building, which saved the taxpayer money. They're now saying, oh, the MPs are taking the freebies to save the taxpayer money. But me and you, we use our hard-earned wages to buy clothes and tickets to see shows and dining out. We don't rely on freebies. There has to be a line, a moral line of what is right. Now, if he's taking it as expenses, that's one thing. But if he's taking it as personal clothes and personal gifts, then that's not for work. And, you know, it's a fine line. And it's sometimes difficult not to understand which side of the line that things go on. But I think we've got to discuss this, and I think we've got to have a chat. And our MPs are going to have to sort it out before the next election. I think what is happening is all these leaks about all these freebies is from the backroom boys within the Labour Party. They don't like Starmer and they don't like some of the cabinet. And I think they want to try and get rid of some of them. And I think all these little leaks of all these freebies, especially the flat, is coming from somebody within the Labour Party. They are lobbying against their own side because they don't like Starmer. Why? I don't know. Well, I don't like him because, I'm not Labour. But why don't they like him? What do they know that we ain't being told? They're now talking about Starmer's sexuality. I don't want to go there. I couldn't care a sugar what it is, so we're not going to. But they're openly questioning what it is. I don't know the answer. I couldn't care a damn. But what is wrong is that he's not being honest. He's trying to make out that he's something he may not be. And that's wrong. That's that moral line, that compass. And they don't see that taking all these freebies is wrong. Yeah, like I said, it might be within the rules. But it ain't morally right. It's just wrong. There's lots of things we could talk about. Look at all the social media people that got investigated by the police, and I'm one of them, for making comments online that the woke political culture don't like. Under Starmer, it's got even worse. And there's no moral compass anywhere. It's like a modern day witch hunt. It's like the people who have a different point of view to the socialist woke politics. It's like we're witches. Like we've got to be put down, we've got to be interviewed by the police. Where's the fairness? Where's the moral compass? We have to get back to common sense reality. Everything's just gone upside down. I'd say tits up, but I better not. Not on YouTube. I didn't say that. We have to sort ourselves out. We can't put a lady who puts a post on Facebook in jail for 14 months. Another lady was kept in a cell for 24 hours because of a Facebook post. Luckily, she was released the next day with no charges. But the police don't seem to be following any sort of common sense. I think that somewhere along the line, in the training or in the retraining of the police, they've been told, you've got to do this. And the copper's doing it, thinking it's the right thing to do. I don't blame the copper on the beat, because sometimes he can't stand out to his bosses. With me, I told the constable what I thought and explained why I said it and what I did. And I think he began to understand where I was coming from, because in the end it was no further action. It shouldn't have happened. 4-month police investigation. For telling the truth. I made a statement that was true. It wasn't aimed at anybody. And they tried to do me for malicious communication. You know, if I'd gone to court, I'd be looking at 2 years inside for telling the truth. We have got the right of free speech. I keep on about it. We've got to get back to our moral and use this moral compass we got. It's been thrown out the window by woke culture. Now, I think I've said enough today. I think I'm going to have a break now. But I'll be back, don't worry. Now, this Labour Party, you know, on my second channel, that's my rant channel. I can have little 10-minute rants on little videos. This is my chat where I sort of try and figure things out. Anyway, if you want the second party, it's SNN second channel. And it's just the rants. This is my thoughtful channel. It's where I want to do interviews. I interviewed Diamond and Silk from America, the 2 black girls. That was brilliant. They were wonderful. You know, and I've done another interview. Unfortunately, something went wrong. I pressed record and it started recording. And then we got to the end of the interview. And I only got the first 2 minutes. The rest just vanished. I don't know what happened. It just cut out. But anyway, hopefully we'll be able to do that interview again one day. Anyway, Ian, Somerset News Network, signing off, and I have said enough.